Hi guys, Alba here with Western Colorado Writers Forum for High Desert Voices. Today I have with me Brigham Blackham. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Alba. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Tell us a bit about why you're here in Grand Junction.
Wonderful question. I am a passionate person about storytelling, and one of the things that means for you and your listeners is when you have meaningful ideas that you want to share that are experiences, if you can package them right, and really know how to perform them well, then you can use those stories and experiences to impact and build influence and even generate income.
Okay.
So that's my whole method that I teach with my mentorship, and I am super passionate to share that with you guys and all of you guys.
Very cool. When did you first begin writing? What's drawn you to writing specifically?
When I was a young kid, I was in middle school, and I was often just kind of picked on because I was a little bit overweight.
Okay.
And it was really frustrating for me. One of the ways
I
processed my frustrations was writing in my journal and things like that. And I had a teacher that inspired me to say, hey, you know what, you've got some really creative ideas. Why don't you capture these into a little play?
Into a play? Straight into play.
Yeah,
I like it.
Not? So I went and I competed in a thing called the National History Day. Have you ever heard this? Most people call it the History Fair.
Okay.
It's a national competition, and when I was in 6th grade, I wrote my own little skit, and I competed with a handful of my friends. We ended up going all the way to nationals.
Awesome.
And it was a blast.
Yeah.
I did that 3 different years, my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade year. By the time I got in high school, I was like, wow, I really enjoy writing and performing.
Yeah.
Mostly on the performing side.
Mostly on the performing. So do you feel like writing comes first and performing comes second, or is it kind of go hand in hand?
Definitely goes hand in hand, but performing is one of those things that if you can write really well, there's no guarantee you can perform your writing
100%.
Well. That's essential to know how to perform. And for me, that's the key difference is if you can perform your own work, you can perform other people's work, you can bring it to life, it makes it easier for others to connect with you in a heart-to-heart way.
Sure.
That's actually the core message of this whole book is how to be not just interesting in what you say and have hooks that make people want to listen to you, but actually have a heart-to-heart conversation. It's a thing that AI will never be able to replace.
No, definitely. There's a lot of holes that AI has. Just talking about that earlier. But so who are some writers, local or otherwise, that have influenced your work or inspired you most?
I have a mentor named Jack Zufelt, and a lot of his work has directly impacted mine.
Really?
He is someone that he came up with a book called The DNA of Success. I highly recommend his book. It talks about something called a core desire. Have you ever heard this term before? This is the reason that most people fail at their goals. The reason that a lot of their New Year's resolutions stay resolutions and they don't actually get resolved.
Okay.
The idea is on a scale of 1 to 100, a core desire is at that 100 level.
Okay.
Most desires fall around 50 or 60 for people, and if they don't want it, it's going to be below 50. But if you have a true core desire, something you want that's white hot burning desire for you, you are going to figure it out. You will find the mentors, you'll read the books, you'll do whatever you need to get those resources to make it happen for yourself. And the key distinction is if you can discover those core desires and then apply it with alignment to what you truly want to do, it makes it easier for you to accomplish those things.
Okay, well can you walk us through your writing process from idea from start to finish? Does it start, when you're up there talking? It sounds like you do some speaking.
Yes.
Public speaking.
My writing process, the biggest thing for me, I talk about story mining.
Okay.
Story mining is when you are taking a lot of raw experiences. It's almost like collecting data, and you say, where is the gold? Almost like you're an old-time prospector. You've got all of this pay dirt. You need to make sure you sift through it and figure out how do I process this in a way that I can collect the things that are really potentially valuable, and when you find those golden nuggets, you say, all right, I'm going to melt this and refine it so that it will be meaningful for others. The way that I do that in practicality is I have it's basically, I'll show you, it's a remarkable, and I will take
I've seen those are cool.
I'll take these down, and if I say, hey, I've got this story that I want to develop, I turn off my phone, I get out my remarkable, and I go to my little blog section, because that's usually the way that I first do my content, is I just brain dump into a
I like
blog
it. A little
idea,
routine, yeah.
And then once I take that blog idea, I say, is this concept something that will definitely benefit others, or is it just going to benefit me? As soon as I have at least refined it to that point, then I can say, is this going to be something that I want to
And odds are, if it's
explore
something
deeper?
you're struggling with, somebody else out there is struggling with it.
Absolutely. So that's my main process. I start by documenting the big stuff, and then I say, is this something that will be able to be refined for other people? And then I usually publish it into a blog, and then depending on the responses, then I will say, well, this is something that's of value for more people. I
Sure.
test it with a lot of my coaching clients or my mentoring clients, and then as it gets more and more traction, it makes it easier for me to want to put into a book.
So what drives you to get this help out there? Like, what is your defining, okay, this is why I need to help people in this, is there a niche that you work with, like a specific group of people that, man, they could really benefit from this?
As far as the thing that really drives me, I'll first answer that question. Yeah. The thing that drives me most is to build impact, influence, and income.
Okay.
Impact is my first thing. If I can positively help somebody else do more with what they already have, they can shift their mindset around their life or their business. I can help them not just see what's possible, but be able to model a lot of the things that I've done and cut time frames. It makes it easier for me to say, wow, I want to do that again. Mm-hmm. For instance, I had a friend that I've been working with a little over a year now. When he first was writing his book, he's a fiction author. He had spent almost 10 years and he was only 30,000 words in. His project's about 300,000 words. Okay?
Yikes, yeah.
And one of the things I was able to help him do was establish a discipline of writing. And this last year, he was able to accomplish over 100,000 words because of that discipline.
Wow. So helping people set a routine, like a template routines for success. Yeah.
Exactly. It's setting minimums, standards, and then sometimes doing occasional blitzes where you say, this is what I want to accomplish. And you say, in these next 2 weeks, I'm going to get 1,500 words. Oh, well, what's the most you've ever done? Well, I've done 2,000 words before. Well, let's go 15,000 words then. Let's crazy make it big.
Yeah.
And one of the things that did for him was it made it so that when we had those blitzes, he was able to see all of the progress he'd made up to that point and then nail down and focus it. And that's been really meaningful for him because the last few weeks he's on that final stretch to get his first book done.
Yeah.
And he had almost 20,000 words left. I said, well, we got to hit 4,000 to 5,000 words every single week this month. And he's been consistent the last 2 weeks doing that.
So that's you work specifically with writers then?
Not just writers, okay. But usually it's nonfiction writers. He's just one of my clients that is a fiction author and an entrepreneur. My main focus is on thought leaders, people that have to use communication skills to level up their organization, make it easier for others to connect deeply.
Got it.
So when you think of a leader, if they can't clearly articulate the value of their organization, their offers, nobody's going to buy their products.
Right. They have to explain correctly and almost invite people to listen, really,
exactly.
Is what it is. Yeah.
You have to find a way to make it so it's meaningful for them. That's the key.
What do you feel like is the kind of like the secret of getting somebody to understand that? Because a lot of people don't realize that they maybe need some communication skills. They're just frustrated as to why they're struggling.
When people are struggling, a lot of times you'll notice it like this. They'll share an entire story and they just verbally dump all over you. And then at the very end, they'll apologize. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I went off. And that's one of the ways that you'll know that they need a little bit of help.
Sure.
If that's you guys,
yeah.
Recognize when you start doing that, when you see people's eyes gloss over and they start checking their phone. A lot of times that's when you know you have a communication challenge.
Yeah.
And the way you solve that.
It can be hard to be mindful of that as well on your own.
Absolutely. You need a mentor to notice those things for you because that's the thing about blind spots.
Yeah, so you said you have a mentor, right? How long has he been your mentor for?
He's been my mentor about a year.
Okay.
I've had many mentors in my path. One is Dr. Greg Kimball. He's still my mentor as well. I have mentors in my health and fitness, like Sam Rifkin's another one of those, doing an 8-week transformation right now with my physicality. Anytime you look at someone that has results that you want, you say, how can I model their behavior and mimic it so that I can get similar results in a shortened time frame?
Yeah.
So Jack Zufelt is someone that has done speaking for decades, and he's got results. He's helped over 100 million people be able to hear his message and improve their selves. So I was like, I want to be like him when I grow up.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If I ever grow up.
Right. When I grow up. Yeah, no, I like it. I like that you always, it's good to have something to strive for, even though, like you said, we're adults here, but you can still having that mentality of I can be better, I can do good things, I can learn. That's a pretty hard concept that that you have to get to on your own, right? So
learning is essential. I actually have a great mentor named Cosimo Intermite. He's the one that wrote the foreword in my book. He and I are specialists in this idea of how to expedite how fast you can learn. Because it's not just being able to communicate effectively your ideas, it's about how fast can you help other people grasp those ideas.
Yeah.
That's part of the communication. It's almost like if you were going to throw somebody a ball, they usually can catch one ball, but if you throw them 10 or 12 at the same time, what's the chance of them catching all 12 of those?
Right.
Really low.
Yeah.
So when you're really simple in your communication, it makes it easier for others to understand you and then learn based on the things that you're communicating.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you started from a really young age and you've kind of walked this path in this similar direction for a while, it sounds like. Have you done anything different aside from this?
Yeah, I think the main question here is, how did I arrive at this point?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was very passionate about documenting my experiences.
I love it.
I was a Sterling Scholar, and this was one of those times where I had to take a lot of different concepts and ideas. Oh, look at this. There's a cute little picture.
I like it.
That was so big in the,
yeah,
in the early 2000s. Had that little curly thing. There you go, guys. Bam. But documenting your experiences, not just creating.
So important, yeah.
This is essential. And I had that desire early on to be able to document those experiences. And what that did for me was give me confidence that what I was doing was of worth.
Yeah.
Because when you're communicating about your own business or about your personal life, professional life, if you document it, it's much easier to say, this is what I did and this is what I learned from it and this is what it means for you.
Tracking your stats a little bit to be able to show somebody like hard evidence as to how far you've come.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's another example. A few years ago, my wife and I had a desire to document one of the things that her grandfather had accomplished.
Okay.
He was a amazing artist. His name is Leonard Parkin. This is a 5-year project of us documenting different pictures of his.
Okay.
He's painting his entire life's work.
Wow.
And this is called
It's a lot of work.
Imaginations of Place. It was a lot of work. And we
Especially when it comes to family, though, it's got to be worth it.
And it's got to be worth it. We literally went and found all these different experiences that he had.
Wow.
And almost 150 different paintings. We had to go find where the original had been bought and then take pictures of it and then document it in here.
Oh, wow. So he sold work.
He sold almost all of these to different people.
Wow.
Some of them he had pictures of, some of them he didn't. And we had to go track those people down across the western United States and take pictures of them so that we could compile his work. We still didn't even have every single one of them.
It's very important, though. Yeah, especially when it's your family documenting and after they pass, what happens to all their stuff, right? That's
Exactly.
a huge thing.
So we didn't just document it. We took those and then packaged it in a way that was meaningful. This was my first successful book that I created. It was
How do you promote something like that?
Like this was really a very niche group. It was just people that had known my grandpa.
Okay.
That was who we had, about 100 or so people, and we sold the book before we printed the book.
Smart.
So we said, hey, we've got about 100 people that would be interested in this. We called them up beforehand. They bought it, and it was an expensive book. These ones are not cheap.
No, it looks big. It's huge too.
And to make it so that it is in really high quality print, that was like a $150 book, and we ended $100 book, and our margin on that wasn't a whole lot.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure we bought it, but we had everyone purchase it
beforehand. Yeah, it's a huge
that's something
cost.
you can do whether you are doing a smaller book like this, because this doesn't have a lot of pictures in it. It has like maybe 10 or 15 pictures. Very different type of product.
Okay.
So you think, how can I pre-sell it and make it easy for others to want it? And then also identifying your market. This was not one I did for commercial purposes. I did it because it was an extremely meaningful thing for me and my family.
Right.
And you'll have different projects like that. Some are for others and some aren't.
Right, yeah, there's different things that different people need as well. So, like you said, no pictures, and this is just looks like mostly pictures.
It's like 95% pictures. There's quite a bit that give you context around where the picture came from and what it is. But the purpose of that was to document his life's work.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, yeah.
30 plus years as a professional author is amazing.
So, let's see. Are there any particular themes or messages that you find yourself returning to in your work?
The biggest one is the importance of storytelling and how that improves your learning abilities.
Yeah.
This is something that is crucial for anyone that wants to improve how quickly they memorize And for me as a professional actor, my background was in theater, and I taught Mandarin Chinese as well in high school.
Random. I like it.
A little bit random, but the through line with all of it was storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I found the most traction in my classrooms was dressing up with these kids and playing with them.
Yeah.
Literally, and sometimes taking them and allowing them to express themselves through different stories. And what that did was make it so that we created anchored memories, so they weren't just learning random words.
Right.
They
You have to
were
tie it to
connected
something that you're going
something.
to remember. Yeah.
Exactly. And what this does for you, if you are in business or if you are in any type of thought leadership, when you can wrap your ideas or concepts in a story,
Mm-hmm.
people can draw back on that story and they can remember the concept. But if you only talk about concepts and then you deliver data,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like disorganized Legos. They're like, well, that was a cool looking pattern, but I don't get it. As soon as that is organized into a Lego house
Okay.
with a tree, and then you're like, oh, that's the one from Up. There's the balloons. I see it.
Yeah.
Now you
Then
can
people
kind of keep
things
that,
start clicking a little bit.
You keep that picture in your mind, and it makes it easier to click. Exactly.
So it sounds like you've always kind of been just a confident person when it comes to performing and sharing and trying to learn more. Was there ever a time where you felt intimidated, where you were kind of nervous, and can you share about that?
One of those times where I felt a little out of place, I was on the Great Wall of China. I was performing for the second time. I had a song I was singing. It's called Walk Like a Man. If you ever sang that from Jersey
Mm-hmm.
Boys. We had an audience of maybe 400 or 500 different people, and I had a few speaking parts in this, and I also got to sing that song. And I just remember sometimes you have these moments where you're like, this feels surreal. I don't feel totally confident in this, even though I know I'm ready. And once I started singing and the crowd was like, man, that was amazing. It's like a lot of those anxieties kind of switch to excitement.
Okay.
One of the books I wrote is called 3 Reasons Stage Fright Costs and Why I Must Fix It. That's the free giveaway that I give to people whenever they want to come into my ecosystem, basically. That's the main premise of it. If you can take that fear and shift it into excitement, how do you reframe those things? It's something that every single person can learn from, and you can model it if you're willing to do the work to figure out, where is that fear coming from? Is it me focusing on myself, or am I focusing on others?
Yeah.
And that experience on the Great Wall of China was one of those times where I was like, as long as I'm focusing on these people and I'm helping them all up that side of the wall hear this song and get like that enjoyment from it,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't about me anymore. It was all about them. And it shifted that fear into excitement, and it was amazing.
I love it. That can be a tough hurdle for a lot of people, because sometimes you don't transition into that, and you just shake and you just kind of not weasel out, but you just kind of, well, I'm going to try it never again, right?
I've
So
got
it's
a
cool
concept for you if you want.
Sure.
This is really helpful. You can use it as an author. You can use it interpersonally. It's called Arrows Out. This is the core idea. If everything that you're doing is focused in at you, like the arrows are pointing in at you,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times that's going to raise your anxiety levels. It's going to make it so that you'll nitpick anytime you make a mistake.
Right.
But when you say, well, I'm going to turn my arrows outward, I'm going to focus on how I can help that person get the result they want. I'm going to figure out what are the things I need to communicate to make it so that they understand. Suddenly the difference...
And you know your audience. Yeah.
Yeah, you know your audience, and then you know what matters to them, and you're registering what they're getting from...
So what's a book or piece of writing, a recent project that you're most proud of, and why?
Most recently,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a workbook for the story hook methods.
Okay.
A lot of times you write a book...
I've seen that. I've seen that, people ask more questions after they read the book, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you read the book and, okay, now I've got all these ideas. How do I implement them?
Yeah.
If they just follow the book, they'll still get it. But having a distilled, simple version that they can actually write deeper notes in,
Yeah.
go a little bit farther into. This one isn't even published anywhere except for on my school group. So it's one of those that I'm like, oh, this is cool.
I love it. Yeah. We can work through it. Can somebody go, like, I don't know if you're planning on publishing this or not. Can somebody just go through that and answer things, or is it...
Yeah, so the idea
You
is
need
I have
both of them?
exercises.
Okay.
So this would be more like the exercise book. It
Mm-hmm.
has lots of different implementable questions. It has frameworks. It has simple ways that you take these core concepts and then apply them. So if they really work hand in hand, And this gives you a deeper format where you can basically apply the things that you learned.
Okay.
You think about anytime you're building a book or a trademarkable idea, you have to have at least two things. I learned this from my writing coach, David Strauss. He's written dozens of books, and a lot of them have his name on them. He also does ghostwriting.
Sure.
But the biggest thing is, if you want to have something that's intellectual property that you can sell, you don't just do one book. You have to have multiple things that have your trademark on it. So that's one of the ways that I'm building my trademark.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. So
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not a trademark. It's just an individual one-off book. As soon as you have two or more in that series, then you can actually go and get a registered trademark.
You know, honestly, that's a really good tip for writers out there, right? Because I know publishing one thing is hard enough, and then on top of that,
so you think about like the way that J.R.R. Tolkien did his writing. He wrote his series, and then he had something called the Silmarillion, where it talks about his process and a lot of the backstory. Unless people were really into those books, they're never going to read the Silmarillion, but it still had to be there for him to accomplish the work. A lot of the backstory of your work, when you think about this as an author, the ideas that you've had and how you came about them, that commentary can be a standalone book.
Okay.
That's a way that you
That's
can
a hot tip for writers.
Your work. Exactly. You can also take those ideas and say, this is how I came up with this. Do a blog post. Here's another thing that you can do. You think about, if you have already spent the time to develop this content, why don't you go and share it on podcasts like what we're doing here? Why not go
online, social media,
share a how-to video of, hey, here's how I came up with this type of concept. Here's how I came up with this language. Here's how I came up with this. All these different ideas. Mm-hmm. You say, what is a way that you can do the same thing? You model your behavior, maybe some of the mistakes, and then you say, here's what you can learn from that.
They say, I think on social media, I follow a couple creators that have some pretty big videos where they do maybe transitions or something, but 1 hour, 2 hours of filming doesn't just bring forth one piece of content. It's like, here is how I make 10 pieces of content off of one thing I recorded or off of one look or something like that. So that makes sense that you're, putting it out there multiple ways, as well as it's like easy marketing as well.
Mm-hmm. Here's another hot tip for those guys that are wanting to build more content faster. If you want multiple looks, you bring different jackets, you bring different shirts, and you can still batch your content, is what this is called. You'll say, hey, for the next 2 hours, we're going to be doing this, but I'm going to put on a jacket or a vest or a hat.
Yeah.
That's really...
It just changes the vibe, changes what's happening. Yeah. You think, oh, this person is talking multiple days in a row. Well, now we're going to know what you're posting online right now.
Absolutely.
So you're giving out a ton of really good advice right now. What's one piece of advice you wish you would have had early on in your career, in your journey?
Done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, I had, even in my workbook, I referenced this. One of them is my Leveling Up Storytelling on Social Media. This was a book that took me 2 or 3 weeks to write, and I just put it out there. I didn't publish it other than as a kind of a tripwire so people can get into my ecosystem. But I finished the book, and then I just let people use it, and then I revised it, and I let people use it, and then revised it.
Sure.
A lot of times we overanalyze our
We want
work.
things to be perfect before we... Yeah.
Exactly. I read Seth Godin's The Practice, and one of the things he talks about is ship it. And what he means by that is...
Just full
once
send.
You finish it, send it, because it's not technically done until somebody has it.
Yeah. That's really
huge.
Good. Yeah, that is huge, because it's something that stops a lot of people is waiting for it to be perfect, waiting for that to happen, and then what happens is, if it's not put out there, you can still go back and change it years later.
You know what else is crazy? In Mandarin, there's this idea of wancheng, which is perfect. Mm-hmm. In Greek, it's teleos. What that means is to complete. If you want something perfect, you have to complete it. If you're a perfectionist, but you never ship what it is that you're working on, there is 0 chance you will ever be perfect with that.
It's like a circle of
Exactly. You have to actually ship it before people can say, oh yeah, this was amazing. I really got a lot of value out of it. That's huge.
Yeah.
Take the effort and say send.
Definitely. Is there a local event or group you'd recommend for aspiring writers to get involved with when it comes to, of course, right?
This one, I got to speak at your group last, I think it was November, and that was wonderful. You do events often. I also have been part of Toastmasters in the area, and you look at whatever group you jive with.
Mm-hmm.
I think your vibe attracts your tribe. You
Yeah,
ever heard that before?
definitely.
There are some groups that will make you enhanced and a lot better at what it is that you love to do, and there are some groups that will pull you down.
Yeah.
So you want to be very conscientious of who you surround yourself with.
Right. Who is your go-to right now?
Right now, it's the Final Percent Network.
Okay.
So the Final Percent Network is out of Denver, Colorado. I have a handful of other authors that are in there as well. My friend Ali Pazuk, she just wrote the book Going Bonkers with Cancer. I just read it last
Wow.
week.
Okay.
Kind of fun.
Sounds hardcore.
She overcame ovarian cancer, which was just a nuts experience.
Yeah.
And I have people that I surround myself, like my buddy C.K. Frederick. He's one of my friends from high school. I've known him most of my life. He's a fiction author. But you surround yourself with people that are doing the work that you want to do. Like my friend David
Inspiration.
Strauss, he has done dozens of books. There's a difference talking to someone like that than someone who has never written a book, and they often will tear you down. Say, oh, you're never going to finish that. That seems too hard. Talk to the people that have been there and done that. Like last year I had, if you've ever heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad, have you heard this book?
Of course,
Okay.
yes.
So Sharon Lecter, she was one of the co-authors of that. She was on my podcast, and she was actually the origin story of that book. 2 years ago, I was sitting in my friend Greg's basement, and I was having a conversation with her, and she said, you have so many great ideas. Why don't you take your frameworks and ideas and write them into a book? That would benefit so many people. And I took her up on it. And 14 months ago, I was just going at all of the different ideas. How do I make these frameworks more simple and easier and take things out? I had 78,000 words after 3 or 4 months, and I was like, oh, this is a lot longer than a 182-page book. I need to figure out how to make it simpler. I got a mentor, and he helped me distill to the point that it was extremely usable and simple and duplicatable.
Okay.
Not everyone has the money to pay a mentor, but everyone has.
I was going
to
to say, what does the editing process look like for you? So I love the idea of create it first, perfect it later.
Yeah.
But what does that? Where does that leave somebody that is maybe not an experienced writer and then they put their stuff out, right? What would you recommend in that process?
I distilled this through doing 177 podcasts over the last 2 years. A lot of the content was...
It's a lot of podcasting.
I had these ideas, and then I worked the idea with a lot of my podcast guests. I interacted with them, and then I would literally just workshop these with a lot of my clients. Hey, what results are you getting from this? Oh, cool, that is working. What about this one? Oh, that's working. I'm going to make sure that I keep that pattern. A lot of these are not
so
new
it's
ideas.
tried.
It's tried and true methods. A lot of them aren't theory. They are, this is what's been working, this is why it's working, and here's the results that you can expect from following that proven process.
Gotcha. So do you use a lot of examples
in your work? A lot of examples, and I like to use short, condensed, fun stories.
Yeah.
Because it's a storytelling book.
Of course, and I think it's good for short snippets as well. Is there a story that you'd like to share today?
Sure. Okay. Oh, which story? This was when I was in my first year teaching Mandarin Chinese. Most of you are not going to be Chinese teachers, but this will be relevant for you because all of us at times have to share content that is complex.
Right.
Nothing gets more complex than Mandarin.
I've heard.
I was talking with my students, and I realized in this first week, I had this student that he just kept falling asleep. And I was like, oh my gosh, why is he falling asleep? What is wrong with this kid? Is he just playing Angry Birds all the time? Is he just exhausted? And as I was working with him, I took him to the side and I was like, hey, we need to figure this out. Why are you falling asleep? He's like, I don't know. It's like have you ever watched Charlie Brown? You sound like one of those teachers. It's like, rah, 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 but it's more like Chinese rah, 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 rah,
right.
Rah, rah. He wasn't getting what I was saying.
Yeah.
I said, well, let's have a few ideas. What could we do? And he said, well, what if I just kneel down while you're teaching? And I was like, you want to kneel down while I'm teaching when you get tired? And he's like, yeah. Okay. Never had a student worship me more. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
He literally would do that.
Literally.
He did it for a few weeks until I realized every time that he was kneeling down, that was an external marker, meaning I'm being boring.
That can be tough when you're getting the criticism. It's like it's not really what's happening, but it's really you're taking it in as, oh, okay, I'm being boring. Let's
because
switch
I'm being boring, I had to find another way to get him off his knees and engaged and pay attention. And I discovered that when I interacted with the students with storytelling, every single one of them was engaged. They were creating with me, and I invited them to be playful. That's a hot tip for any author. If you invite your audience to be playful with you, they will suspend their disbelief, and a lot of times they will go a lot deeper into the learning process. So what this did for my student was, when I started focusing on storytelling and making it engaging, not just for him, but for every single person in the class, it unlocked a new level of understanding. It made it easier for all of us to comprehend what the content was, and it also made it more fun. If you're having fun,
I love it. You're learning. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love it. I love that. I like it can be tough to interview somebody that has a self-help book. It sounds like what it is, right? Because
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, yes, helping everybody, but getting that, like, okay, what's like the thing? So you're excited about learning.
Mm-hmm.
You're excited about teaching, excited about getting that energy to somebody else
Yeah.
that is maybe stuck in what they're working on. I love that. Where are you headed now? What's your direction you're going into? Obviously, you just published a book.
Mm-hmm.
You're marketing. You're sharing about it. People can find you online, of course. But where are you talking at next? Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at the Leveling Up podcast. I do that every Thursday morning. I go online there. If you want to get part of this community, it's the Storyhook method. You can find it on School. Very useful.
SKOOL.
SKOOL.
I've seen that,
Alex
yeah.
Ramosey's little group
Yeah.
there. Eventually, I'll probably take that and put it on my own platform, but I think that's a really useful social media platform.
Definitely.
But if you want to really interact with me, buy the book, connect through School. I'm more than happy to help people that are serious about wanting to get their thoughts out of their head onto paper and then go from the page to the stage.
So do you do any workshops, or are you mostly one-on-one?
Yeah, I usually do one-to-many workshops.
Okay.
A lot of times that's virtually delivered. So you can get into the School group, we connect with you, but I also have ways that you can do it one-on-one as well. That's my high ticket. So definitely go through the process of connecting with this, read the book, and follow the process. It's not rocket science. It's actually
definitely
something that every single one of us are basically wired for storytelling. We're collecting meaning based on all of our experiences. And what this does is help you take those gross ideas and turn them into net
something usable,
value.
something you can pass on.
Exactly.
Right, because you can't really pass on the lived experience, just like aside from start to finish telling the story.
Right, and very rarely will somebody have 4 or 5 hours to hear the gross version of your story. You need to have the net version.
Right.
The extremely condensed, powerful, punching, just easy to understand version.
Definitely.
And that's what that whole book is all about.
Okay, I like it. Well, it's so good having you on here. If you guys can hear people in the background, it's because we are at Four Winds Coffee here in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Yes, definitely check that out.
Love that they have these rooms that you can rent out. Relatively private. Sometimes you hear people out in the hallway, and that's okay. They have good coffee, so check them out if you haven't already.
Give a free thing for everybody.
Definitely, please.
I mentioned the 3 reasons stage fright costs and why you must fix it. That free download is available on my website, brighamb.com. B as in boy. So BRIGHAMB.com/3, just the number 3.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and we'll link everything below. I have your link tree and stuff on there. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
High Desert Voices is the official podcast of the Western Colorado Writers Forum, a nonprofit organization based in Grand Junction, Colorado. The forum's mission is to foster a rich and diverse writing community on Colorado's western slope that invites participation from diverse cultures, customs, and life experiences. The forum hosts Writers' Night presentations at the Grand Junction Center for the Arts on the first Tuesday of every month, where local and national writers give presentations on their craft. Sign up for the forum's free newsletter and listen to all our podcast episodes for free at westerncoloradowriters.org.